So you want to own a data center. Maybe you've seen the headlines. Artificial intelligence is exploding. Every major technology company is racing to build more computing capacity. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Oracle, and hundreds of cloud providers are spending billions of dollars constructing enormous digital warehouses. On paper, it sounds like the perfect investment. No customers walking through the door, no restaurant tables to fill, no hotel rooms sitting empty, just a giant building filled with computers quietly generating money 24 hours a day. It feels like digital real estate, the closest thing to owning a modern gold mine. But that's the dream. The reality is that a data center isn't really a building. It's an industrial power plant disguised as an office. Every second it isn't operating perfectly, somebody somewhere is losing money. Banks can't process payments. Streaming platforms freeze. Hospitals lose access to medical records. Airlines can't issue boarding passes. AI companies burn millions of dollars waiting for GPUs to come back online. That means your business isn't selling space. You're selling certainty, and certainty is expensive. A single minute of downtime can cost enterprise customers anywhere from tens of thousands to several $1 million, depending on their industry, which means your infrastructure has to perform with almost military precision. The walls matter less than the electricity flowing through them. The servers matter less than the cooling systems keeping them alive. And the building itself exists for one purpose: protecting digital information from heat, fire, floods, cyber attacks, and human error. Owning a data center isn't about computers. It's about mastering one of the most capital-intensive infrastructure businesses on Earth. Before your first customer installs a single server, you'll already be writing checks measured in millions. And that's only the beginning. Not all data centers are built for the same mission. The smallest category is the enterprise data center. These facilities are privately owned by corporations to run their own applications, databases, internal networks, and business operations. Banks, manufacturers, insurance companies, and governments often build these exclusively for themselves. The second category is the colocation data center. Instead of owning the servers, the operator rents secure rack space, power, cooling, and connectivity to customers. Think of it as commercial real estate for computer equipment. Customers bring the hardware. The operator provides everything else. Then comes the hyperscale data center. These are the giants built by companies like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, and Meta. Individual campuses can span hundreds of acres and consume more electricity than small cities. Increasingly, another category has emerged: AI data centers. Unlike traditional cloud facilities, AI centers are designed specifically for thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of GPUs operating simultaneously. Their power density is dramatically higher. Their cooling systems are dramatically more expensive. Their construction costs have risen accordingly. Finally, there are edge data centers. Instead of serving an entire nation, these smaller facilities sit close to population centers to reduce latency for applications like autonomous vehicles, gaming, financial trading, and video streaming. Although they all process digital information, their economics are very different. An enterprise facility is a cost center. A co-location facility is a rental business. A hyperscale campus behaves more like national infrastructure. And an AI facility has become one of the most expensive industrial assets currently being built anywhere in the world. Every successful data center begins with one resource that has nothing to do with technology: electricity. The first question isn't how much land is available. It's how much power can the grid deliver. Modern AI facilities often require between 50 and 500 megawatts of electrical capacity. For comparison, 1 megawatt can power hundreds of homes. Some new campuses demand enough electricity to support an entire metropolitan area. This makes location everything. Land located beside major transmission infrastructure instantly becomes more valuable than identical property only a few miles away. Power availability has become the new waterfront property. Then comes fiber connectivity. A world-class data center must connect to multiple high-capacity fiber networks. Redundant carriers ensure customers remain online even if one provider experiences failures. Without network diversity, the property loses much of its commercial value. Zoning creates another obstacle. Municipal governments may require environmental reviews, traffic studies, noise assessments, water management plans, and utility approvals before construction begins. In many regions, securing permits can take years. Then there's the land itself. A medium-sized data center campus may require 10 to 30 acres. Hyperscale campuses frequently exceed 100 acres, leaving room for future expansion. Land prices vary enormously. In secondary markets, acquisition may cost only a few $1 million. Near major technology hubs such as Northern Virginia, Dallas, Frankfurt, London, Singapore, or Tokyo, strategically located parcels can command tens of millions before construction even starts. But purchasing land is only the opening transaction. Utility interconnection fees can add millions more. High-voltage substations often require dedicated engineering. Transmission upgrades may become the owner's responsibility. In some markets, developers wait years simply to receive additional electrical capacity from local utilities. Ironically, one of the largest barriers to entering the AI economy isn't money. It's access to electricity. Because no matter how many investors you have, you can't build a digital factory without enough power to turn it on. Buying land is inexpensive compared to what comes next: construction. Unlike a conventional warehouse, every component inside a data center exists in duplicate or even triplicate. If one system fails, another immediately replaces it. This redundancy defines the business. The electrical infrastructure alone represents an enormous capital investment. Incoming substations, medium voltage switchgear, transformers, uninterruptible power supplies, battery systems, backup diesel generators, automatic transfer switches, miles of heavy-duty electrical distribution. Every piece must operate flawlessly. Cooling becomes equally expensive. Servers convert almost all electricity into heat. Without cooling, equipment fails within minutes. Modern facilities use chilled water systems, cooling towers, computer room air handlers, direct liquid cooling, immersion technologies, or hybrid designs capable of supporting AI workloads exceeding 100 kilowatts per rack. Fire suppression isn't optional. Traditional sprinklers can destroy electronics. Instead, facilities install specialized gas suppression systems capable of extinguishing fires without damaging equipment. Physical security resembles that of government infrastructure. Perimeter fencing, vehicle barriers, biometric access, man-traps, 24-hour surveillance, security operations centers. Everything is designed around protecting digital assets worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Then comes networking, carrier-neutral meet-me rooms, fiber entry points, cross-connect infrastructure, high-density cabling, network monitoring systems, building management software, environmental sensors. Every square foot becomes technologically sophisticated. Construction costs reflect this complexity. A modern enterprise-grade data center can easily cost between $10 million and $20 million per megawatt to build. AI-focused facilities equipped for high-density GPU clusters often exceed those figures significantly. A 100-megawatt campus may therefore require well over $1 billion in total capex before generating meaningful revenue. And unlike apartment buildings, nearly every major component has its own replacement schedule. Generators age, UPS batteries degrade, cooling equipment wears out, capex never truly ends. It simply changes from construction spending into continuous reinvestment. Once the ribbon-cutting ceremony is over, the real business begins, and the largest operating expense arrives every month like clockwork: electricity. For many facilities, power represents 40 to 60% of total operating costs. A 50-megawatt data center running continuously can consume well over 400 million kilowatt-hours annually. Depending on local energy prices, yearly electricity bills can easily reach tens of millions of dollars. Then comes labor. Despite automation, experienced personnel remain essential: electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, network engineers, security specialists, facilities managers, compliance officers, operations technicians, cybersecurity professionals. These aren't minimum wage positions. Many command six-figure salaries because the consequences of mistakes are enormous. Maintenance becomes relentless. Generators require testing. Cooling systems need servicing. Batteries must be replaced. Transformers undergo inspections. Fiber infrastructure is continuously monitored. Software platforms require updates. Even tiny failures can escalate into catastrophic outages. Insurance forms another major expense. Operators purchase property insurance, cyber insurance, environmental liability coverage, business interruption protection, and specialized equipment policies. Premiums continue rising as facilities become more valuable and cyber threats become more sophisticated. Security never sleeps. Around-the-clock monitoring teams, access control, visitor management, threat detection, compliance audits, background checks. Large facilities operate almost like miniature airports. Then there are service-level agreements. Most enterprise customers expect availability of 999% or higher. That famous 5 nines sounds impressive until you calculate what it actually means. It allows roughly 5 minutes of downtime across an entire year. Miss those targets, and contractual penalties begin. Customers may receive credits. Contracts may be terminated. Reputation can suffer permanently. Another hidden expense is compliance. Depending on customers, operators may maintain certifications involving information security, payment systems, healthcare regulations, government standards, environmental reporting, and operational resilience. Audits occur constantly. Documentation never ends. Finally comes technology refresh. Unlike commercial real estate, digital infrastructure depreciates rapidly. Equipment purchased today may require replacement within 5 to 7 years. Cooling systems evolve. Power densities increase. AI hardware grows larger. Customers demand upgrades simply to remain competitive. Running a data center means continuously investing to avoid becoming obsolete, because in this industry, standing still is actually moving backward. Despite enormous costs, successful data centers generate remarkably predictable cash flow. The core revenue stream is co-location. Customers lease cabinets, cages, private suites, or entire halls. Pricing depends on rack space, power consumption, cooling requirements, and contract duration. A medium-sized facility operating around 20 megawatts of sellable capacity may generate annual revenues ranging from roughly $40 million to well over $100 million, depending on occupancy, customer mix, and market pricing. But rent is only the beginning. Power usage often generates additional recurring revenue. Customers consume electricity. Operators purchase wholesale power and recover those costs through structured billing agreements, sometimes including management margins. Connectivity creates another income stream. Cross-connect fees allow customers to connect directly with carriers, cloud providers, and business partners. These small monthly charges become highly profitable because the infrastructure already exists. Managed services increase profitability further. Remote hand support, equipment installation, hardware replacement, cable management, monitoring, migration assistance. Customers pay premium hourly rates rather than flying engineers across the country. Some operators also sell disaster recovery services, backup infrastructure, cloud interconnection, cybersecurity offerings, and dedicated AI hosting environments. Long-term contracts stabilize income. Many enterprise agreements extend 3, 5, or even 10 years. This predictable revenue attracts institutional investors seeking dependable infrastructure returns. Occupancy becomes the key metric. A half-empty facility struggles financially. A nearly full facility benefits from enormous operating leverage because incremental customers generate revenue without proportionally increasing fixed costs. This transforms utilization into one of the most important performance indicators in the industry. The building itself doesn't create wealth. Occupancy does. The greatest misconception about data centers is that demand guarantees profitability. It doesn't. Technology changes quickly. Facilities designed for yesterday's hardware may struggle to support tomorrow's AI workloads. Power constraints can prevent expansion precisely when demand peaks. Electricity prices fluctuate. Natural disasters threaten operations. Water shortages affect cooling systems. Cyber attacks increasingly target infrastructure providers. Then there's regulation. Governments concerned about energy consumption, emissions, or water usage may introduce restrictions that fundamentally alter operating economics. Competition also intensifies. Large cloud providers increasingly build their own campuses instead of leasing third-party facilities. Meanwhile, developers worldwide continue adding new capacity. Overbuilding can pressure pricing. Perhaps the greatest operational risk is downtime. One failed breaker, one cooling malfunction, one software mistake, one accidental cable cut. Each has the potential to interrupt service for thousands of customers simultaneously. The financial consequences extend far beyond repair costs. Lost contracts, legal disputes, insurance claims, reputational damage. Years of trust can disappear in a single afternoon. In infrastructure businesses, resilience isn't a luxury, it's survival. Despite the risks, institutional capital continues pouring into data centers. Why? Because they combine characteristics of real estate, infrastructure, and technology. Long-term contracts create relatively predictable cash flows. Land near major power infrastructure often appreciates as electrical capacity becomes increasingly scarce. Many physical assets qualify for depreciation, allowing owners to reduce taxable income while continuing to generate operating cash flow. Large investments may also benefit from financing structures that enhance returns on equity when managed prudently. Demand is supported by structural trends rather than temporary consumer preferences. Artificial intelligence, cloud computing, digital payments, video streaming, enterprise software, autonomous systems. Nearly every growing digital industry ultimately requires physical computing infrastructure. Some investors therefore view premium data centers as modern equivalents of railroads, ports, or electric utilities, essential infrastructure supporting the broader economy. Perhaps most importantly, barriers to entry remain extraordinarily high. Capital requirements, power availability, engineering expertise, regulatory approvals, customer trust. These obstacles limit competition far more effectively than many traditional businesses. Billionaires aren't simply buying buildings. They're acquiring control over one of the world's most valuable scarce resources. Reliable digital infrastructure. So, does owning a data center make you rich? Sometimes. But more often, it makes you responsible for an extraordinarily expensive machine that never sleeps. Success isn't determined by how many servers sit inside the building.